Before optimizing the website, mobile score was 38 and the desktop score was 63. Here are the GTmetrix results. Grade is C, performance is 67%, TTFB is 1.5 seconds and fully loaded time is 7.1 seconds. After optimizing the website, mobile score is 100 and the desktop score is 100. Here are the GTmetrix results. Grade is A, performance is 100%. TTFB is 41 milliseconds and fully loaded time is 242 milliseconds. Hi guys, this is the 16th video in the WordPress Speed Optimization 101 course. In this video, I will show you how to set up WP Rocket plugin and make your website load in less than a second. By the way, if you have not yet enrolled in the WordPress Speed Optimization 101 course for free, click on the link in the video description area or in the pinned comment area and enroll right away. Let me show you the website that we will be optimizing today. This is a Blocksy starter site and is built with Elementor and WooCommerce. Let me scroll down. As you can see, there is static and dynamic content, a YouTube video, a Google map, and few more external requests like chat and so on. To optimize this website, we have to get a plugin. Open a new tab and in the address bar, enter wpamaze.com/wprocket and hit enter. This is my affiliate link. Using my affiliate link will help me make a small commission at no extra cost to you. You will be taken to this page. First, let's look at the pricing. A single site license will cost you $59. 3 sites license will cost you $119. And an unlimited websites license will cost you $299. If you have a single site, get a single site license. Click on Buy WP Rocket. Here, fill in your information. You can pay using a debit card or credit card or PayPal. And for some reason, if you're not happy with the purchase, WP Rocket offers 14 days money back guarantee. You can go ahead and make the purchase. And I will see you on the next screen. I hope you purchased a license. I won a WP Rocket license, which I will be using for this video. First, you need to log into the WordPress admin dashboard. Hover over plugins and click on Add New. Click on the Upload Plugin button. Click on Choose File. Choose the plugin file. Click on Open. Then click on Install Now button. Click the Activate Plugin button. And we successfully installed and activated WP Rocket plugin. Would you allow WP Rocket to collect non-sensitive diagnostic data from this website? Enabling this will help plugin developers to collect non-sensitive data and improve plugin further. Once you click Yes, Allow button, you will see the list of non-sensitive information details WP Rocket will collect from your website. Here you can see the plan details and here is the expiration date. To access WP Rocket account, click on View My Account. You can click Clear Cache button to clear the entire cache. Rocket CDN. Rocket CDN is unavailable on local domains and staging sites. In a separate video, I will show you how to enable the CDN. If you want to share non-sensitive data with WP Rocket, you can enable Rocket Analytics. Cache. Before proceeding further, let me explain what page caching is and why enabling cache is important. Page caching is a technique used to improve the performance and speed of the website. When your website visitor makes a request, the server will process the request, execute any necessary code or queries, and respond to the request by delivering an HTML page. This process can be resource intensive and time consuming. When the cache is enabled, the server will save a copy of the web page. When a visitor makes a request, the server will deliver the page stored in the cache instead of processing a new request. Delivering the cached version of the page will improve the website performance and reduce server resource usage. Enabling cache for mobile devices will be enabled by default. If not, enable the option. Here we see another option. Separate cache files for mobile devices. There are a few themes that offer separate themes for mobile devices, such as the newspaper theme. You must enable this option if you are using a separate theme for mobile devices. Most websites are mobile responsive and enabling this option won't be required. User cache. If your website is a membership or an online store, users will log into the dashboard to access the personalized data or settings unique to their account. By default, logged in users will be viewing the uncached version of the website. You can enable this option to serve a cached version for the logged in users. Cache lifespan. You can decide how long the cache should be stored. If your website content is updated at frequent intervals, such as news websites, you can set this to 1 hour. And if you rarely update your website content, then you can set this to 0 and the cache will never expire. If you set the cache lifespan to 0 and want to clear the cache, you must log into the website and clear the cache. I prefer 10 hours. File optimization. Minify CSS. Minifying CSS refers to the process of reducing the file size by removing unnecessary characters, spaces, line breaks, and comments without affecting its functionality or visual appearance. When you click on Minify CSS, you will see a notification that says this could break things. Ignore the warning and click on Activate Minify CSS button. Exclude CSS. If enabling Minify CSS causes any issues, you can add the style sheet path here to exclude them from the Minify. Optimize CSS delivery. When Optimize CSS delivery is enabled, you will see two options: remove unused CSS and load CSS asynchronously. When remove unused CSS is selected, WP Rocket will remove all the unused CSS and load only the used CSS. If we select load CSS asynchronously, WP Rocket will create critical CSS and load them in the header, and the style sheets will load with defer attributes. I will choose the remove unused CSS option. When we click on remove unused CSS, you will see a notification that says this could break things. Ignore the warning and select activate remove unused CSS. Exclude style sheets. At times, WP Rocket might remove the CSS used on the page, and you can add the required IDs or classes here to insert the required CSS. Let me click on Save Changes. WP Rocket will take a couple of minutes to remove the unwanted CSS. Now we see the message that says the used CSS of the home page has been processed. Let me clear the cache. Now it's time to check if everything looks as it should be. Always make sure you open the website using an incognito window. Let me scroll down the page. As we see, everything looks fine. Let me go to GTmetrix report to show you what happens when the remove unused CSS process takes place. First, let's perform a new test so it will be easier to compare the results. Enabling cache and removing unused CSS already gave a significant boost in performance. Grade went from C to A. TTFB duration dropped to 583 milliseconds and fully loaded time is 4.4 seconds compared to 7.1 seconds. Let's talk about the overall performance at a later stage. Now click on the waterfall tab and then CSS tab. First, let's look at the before results. As you can see, 17 style sheets are loading, out of which one is from YouTube, and the total CSS size is 124 KB. And if we exclude the YouTube style sheet, then 16 style sheets are loading and 77 KB. Now let's look at the after results. As you can see, only 2 style sheets are loading and one is from YouTube. Another style sheet is loading from our website and the CSS is 903 bytes. You might be wondering what happened to those 16 style sheets and 77 KB of CSS we saw in the previous test. Let me explain it to you. Here let me click on HTML tab. The first request is an HTML file and this is the website root file. And if you notice, the HTML file size is 26.5 KB. This is the after results. Here the HTML file size was 46.8 KB. In the after results, the HTML file size increased by 20 KB. When remove unused CSS was enabled, WP Rocket removed all the unused CSS and added the used CSS into the header directly. Minify JavaScript files. When Minify JavaScript is enabled, like Minify CSS, the empty spaces will be removed. When you enable this option, you will see a message that says, this could break things. Ignore the message and click on Activate Minify JavaScript button. When this option is enabled, if some functionality stops working, come back and disable Minify JavaScript. Disabling this option will add a couple of KB and it won't have any significant performance boost. Combined JavaScript files. This is a controversial topic. You might have heard many people saying you shouldn't combine JS when you are using HTTP2 and above, and they are wrong. According to them, you combine all the JS files and load them as one JS file. I don't combine JS files to load them as a single file. Sometimes we can't delay individual JS files as they throw console errors. In such situations, we can combine JS files and delay the combined JS file. This is a super complex topic, and I have covered this topic in the Ultimate Speed Optimization course in detail. Load JavaScript deferred. When load JavaScript defer is enabled, all the JavaScript files will load with defer attribute and won't be render blocking requests anymore. Let me quickly show you an illustration that will help you understand better. In this image, as you can see here, the HTML document is parsing. The moment the JS file starts to download, HTML parsing is blocked. Once the JS file downloads and the code is executed, then HTML parsing will continue. And this is called as render blocking. To fix the render blocking issue, we add defer attribute. When defer attribute is added, the JavaScript will download parallel to parsing of the page, and the JavaScript will be executed once the HTML document parsing is complete. Exclude JavaScript files. Unfortunately, it's impossible to defer all the JS scripts on all sites. When things break, you must exclude the problem-creating JavaScript files from deferring. To exclude JavaScript files from deferring, you must add the JavaScript file path here. Delay JavaScript execution. When delay JavaScript execution is enabled, all the JavaScript files and external requests will be delayed, and these requests will load on user interaction. Sometimes you must exclude external requests such as tracking code to make it work as expected. At the same time, you can't delay all the JavaScript files, and to exclude external requests or self-hosted JavaScript requests, they have come up with one-click exclusion. If you want to exclude any analytics or ads from delay, click the appropriate checkbox and save changes. For example, if you don't want to delay Amazon ads, you must click on the checkbox next to Amazon ads and save changes. Once the changes are saved, Amazon ads won't be delayed and will load on initial page load. The same applies to the plugins as well. For example, when delay JS execution is enabled, if Elementor is causing issues, you must click on the checkbox next to the Elementor and save changes. Once the settings are saved, Elementor JS requests won't be delayed and it should work as expected. If you delay the JS requests that are part of the critical assets, it will have negative impact on the core web vitals and user experience. At times, setting up WP Rocket plugin correctly to get the best results might look more complicated. Hence, I'm offering WordPress Speed Optimization 101 course for free. In WordPress Speed Optimization 101 free course, there will be dozens of videos that cover most of the speed optimization issues. If you're interested in enrolling the WordPress Speed Optimization 101 course for free, you can join by clicking on the link in the video description and pinned comment area. At times, you might want to exclude individual request instead of a plugin from delay execution. In such cases, you can add the individual file path names here. If things are not working, WP Rocket team recommends adding this piece of code, and I don't recommend doing it. When you add this code, most of the JS requests will be excluded from delay execution. Now let's perform a new test and see if enabling defer JavaScript and delay execution impact website's performance. Grade is A and performance is 98%. TTFB is 593 milliseconds and fully loaded time is dropped to 1.3 seconds compared to 4.4 seconds. Alright my friends, don't start to celebrate. Our goal is to make the website load in less than 300 milliseconds, and still there is a lot to do. Let me click on the waterfall tab and select JS. As you can see, no JavaScript files are loading, and that's because we enabled delay execution. And now JavaScript files will load on user interaction such as keyboard interaction, mouse click, or tap on the touch screen. Now let's look at the before results. Before enabling delay execution, the website was loading 39 JavaScript requests and the total size is 1.41 MB. Let's run a page speed insights test and see if there is any improvement. Now the mobile score is 63. Click on Analyze button. score jumped from 63 to 78. Let's look at the issues that need to be fixed. Here we are seeing 3 issues that must be fixed. Largest contentful paint element, serve images in next-gen format, and efficiently encode images. Media. Under the lazy load, the first option is enable for images. Let me explain how lazy load works. Lazy loading is a technique used to improve page speed by delaying the assets such as images and iframes. This approach can significantly improve page load times, user experience, and reduce bandwidth usage, particularly for content that are below the viewport area. If you don't know what is viewport, let me quickly show it to you. When you open a website, the content that is displayed within this area is known as viewport. On the initial page load, loading these 2 images are sufficient, and the images that you see here can be lazy loaded. When lazy load is enabled, most of these images will load when it's closer to the viewport. The image that you see here is loaded as a background image. And to lazy load this image, we must enable for CSS background images option. I will come back to this option in a moment. Next is image dimensions. The images that don't have proper dimensions might shift the position, and that will cause CLS issues. When you perform a page speed insights test, most of you might have seen use explicit width and height on image elements warning. To address these issues, you have to enable add missing image dimensions option. Now let's talk about iframes and videos. Let me show you what is an iframe and videos, so that it will be easier for you to understand. The video you are seeing here is published on YouTube, and we can display this video on our website by adding the video URL. Here is the Google map, and we can display the Google map on our website by adding iframe code. When we load the page, YouTube video and Google map will load plenty of requests, which will slow down the website to a great extent. To address this issue, WP Rocket offers lazy load option for both to lazy load iframes and videos. Click on the enable for iframes and videos checkbox. To replace YouTube iframe with thumbnail, enable this option and save changes. Now the YouTube and Google map will display static images and won't load all the requests. Exclude images or iframes from the lazy load. I will discuss this feature in the later part of the video. When activate preloading is enabled, WP Rocket will preload the cache, and the cached version of the website will be served to all visitors. If you want to exclude any URLs from preload cache, you can add the URLs here. Next is preload links. Preload links is an outstanding feature. When a user hovers over or touch a link for 100 milliseconds or more, then the HTML of that page will be fetched in the backend. And when you click on the link or menu item, the page will load almost instantly without any delay. Prefetch DNS requests. On your website, you might be loading external services such as Google Analytics, etc. Domain prefetching helps in resolving domain names. Basically, it will perform a DNS lookup in the background before a user clicks on a link, which will improve performance. Hence, you can add all the domain names you would like to prefetch. Note, when you add a domain, you should remove HTTP or HTTPS and add the domain name. Preload fonts. Before we go further, let me discuss 2 important terms. Flash of invisible text. When you load a page, you might see the text after a few seconds as the fonts need to be downloaded, and this is known as flash of invisible text. Another term is flash of unstyled text. In this case, when you load a page, you will see a system font that is on your device by default. And once the font file is downloaded, a different font style will change, and this is known as flash of unstyled text. You can fix both the issues by preloading the fonts. Note, you can preload the fonts only when the font files are hosted locally. Recently, I published a video how to host Google Fonts locally, and the video is available on my channel, and I will leave a link in the video description. Before we continue the video, let me quickly introduce the Ultimate Speed Optimization course. In the Ultimate Speed Optimization course, I cover beginner, intermediate, and advanced topics with plenty of case studies and detailed videos to help you build a successful career as a speed optimization expert. The Ultimate Speed Optimization course cost is $497, but for a limited time, I am offering the course at just $147. And you will get 100K Web Agency Mastery course worth $497 for free. In the 100K Web Agency Mastery course, I will show you why clients pay me hundreds and thousands of dollars for optimizing their websites, and how you can find high-paying clients, generate recurring revenue, etc. By the end of this course, I want clients to search for you and not the other way around. Advanced rules. Never cache URLs. If you want to exclude any URL from caching, you can add the page URL here. If your website uses plugins such as WooCommerce, the pages like My Account, Cart, and Checkout will be automatically excluded from the cache. For example, if you want to exclude the cart page from caching, you must enter the URLs log like this. Never cache cookies. If you want to exclude caching based on cookies, you can add cookies here. Never cache user agent. You can exclude caching based on the device type, browser, etc. Always purge URLs. By default, WP Rocket will clear the partial cache when the page or post is updated. To fix this issue, you can add page URLs here that you would like to purge whenever you make changes to a page or post. For example, you want to clear the cache on the blog page. In this case, you must enter the URLs log here. Cache query strings. WP Rocket will cache most of the query strings. If it fails to cache a query string, then you can add them manually here. Before you optimize the database, it's important to backup your website. In the upcoming videos, I will show you how to backup a website using various tools. When optimizing a website, optimizing the database is important to achieve better performance. Revisions. Every time you save a page or post, a revision will be saved, and in most cases, you won't need these revisions. Hence, it's safe to delete revisions. Auto drafts. Enabling this will delete posts with their status set to auto draft. Thrashed posts. Enabling this will delete posts with their status set to trash. Comments cleanup. You can enable both options and it will delete spam and trash comments. Transient cleanups. Transients are temporary setup and it's safe to delete them. Database cleanup. When a plugin is deactivated and removed, plenty of plugins won't remove all the data from the database. Enabling this option optimizes the tables. Automatic cleanup. By enabling this option, you can clean up the database at regular intervals. You can set the frequency to daily, weekly, or monthly. I prefer weekly. And once you click on the Save Changes and Optimize button, settings will be saved and the database optimization will begin. As you can see here, the database optimization is completed successfully. CDN. First, let me explain what a CDN is. CDN is also known as a content delivery network. CDN is a network of servers distributed across various geographical locations to deliver web content to users more efficiently. CDNs store copies of web pages, images, videos, style sheets, JavaScript files, etc. on multiple servers located in different regions. For example, let's assume a visitor from Australia is visiting your website and your website server location is US. In this case, the website performance will not be at its best as there will be a delay in network latency. Once CDN is enabled, when a user from Australia visits your website, the CDN's infrastructure selects the server closest to the user's location. In this case, the closest server location could be in Australia to deliver the content, resulting in faster loading times and improved user experience. On a separate video, I will show you how to configure CDN. Heartbeat. Heartbeat will run a set of tasks at regular intervals and uses admin Ajax PHP. If admin Ajax PHP makes numerous requests, then you might see high server resource, high CPU usage warnings, and this will slow down the website performance. To address this issue, WP Rocket enabled Control Heartbeat by default. Let me click on Add-ons. Varnish. Varnish is server-side cache. If the varnish cache is enabled, then WP Rocket will clear varnish cache every time WP Rocket cache is cleared. WebP compatibility. You must enable this option if you are using a plugin to convert the images into WebP format. I will cover this topic in a moment. If you are using Cloudflare, you must enable this option. When this option is enabled, the Cloudflare cache will be automatically cleared whenever you clear the WP Rocket cache. In a separate video, I will show you how to set up Cloudflare and integrate it with WP Rocket. If you are using Securi, you must enable this option. When you enable this option, Securi's cache will be cleared when the WP Rocket cache is cleared. Let me click on Image Optimization. Imagify is one of the best image optimization solutions. WP Rocket and Imagify are owned by the same company. Before proceeding further, let's perform another Page Speed Insights test. Now the mobile score is 81. Let me scroll down to see the issues that need to be fixed. Largest contentful paint element. Let's look at this at a later stage. Serve images in next-gen formats. Google recommends loading images in WebP format or AVIF format. You will see this warning if you are loading images in PNG or JPEG format. Next is efficiently encode images. Google recommends an image compression rate of less than 85%. If the image compression rate is above 85%, then you will see this efficiently encode images warning. Here the potential savings is 8 KB and it won't have a huge impact on the website performance. However, keeping the image size small is good for the user experience and website performance. Alright, let's go ahead and fix the serve images in next-gen format and efficiently encode images issues. Here, click on the Install Imagify button. Click on Sign Up. It's free button. Enter your email address here and click the Sign Up button. Now, you will receive an email from Imagify. You must go to your email box and get the API key. Here is the verification link. You have to click on this link and verify your account within 30 days. Once you confirm your account, you will have full access to the Imagify account. Here is the API. Let me copy the API key. Here, click on I have my API key button and paste the API key. Then click on the Connect Me button. Now we created the connection successfully. Click on the Go to Settings button. Auto Optimize Images on Upload option should be enabled. Backup original images should be enabled. Lossless compression. If your website is a photo gallery or you want to display high quality images, keep this enabled. Otherwise, you can uncheck this option. Here, click on Create AVIF versions of images. AVIF is the latest image format. Here, click on Display Images in the next-gen image format on this site. Here, by default, Use Picture tags will be enabled. Leave the settings as it is and do not make any changes to this. If you are using a CDN, you have to enter the CDN URL here. Resize larger images. I don't prefer uploading images that are more than 1600 pixels. Before I upload the images, I will resize and upload them in the correct size. On this website, the largest thumbnail width is 2048 pixels. And I will keep it as it is as I don't want to waste too much time adjusting these settings. Let me change 2560 pixels to 2048 pixels. The images you upload will be stored in the Uploads folder. If you want to add any other folders, you can click on the Add Folders button and add those folders. Here, you will see multiple image sizes. Image thumbnail size depends on the theme and the page builders you use. Compression and converting all the images and storing them on your server will use more storage space. Hence, enable the ones that you are using on your website and disable the ones not using. Let me disable thumbnails. Then click on Save and go to Bulk Optimizer button. Here, we see 0 optimized images, and that's because we have not optimized any images. Scroll down and under Optimize your media files, media library will be enabled by default. On the right side, you will see two options, Smart and Lossless. If your website is not a photo gallery, then Smart is the best option. If your website is a photo gallery, you can choose Lossless. I will select Smart. Here, you can select which folder you want to optimize. If you have multiple folders, you can decide which folder you want to optimize. Otherwise, you are good to go. Click on Imagify them all. Here you will see two options, Cancel and Start the Optimization button. You must click on Start the Optimization button. Optimizing images might take some time, depending on how many images you have on your website and the image size. I will let the process continue and I will be back once the process is completed. Okay, image optimization is complete. Let me clear the cache. Here you can see how many images are optimized. The original size is 9.1 MB and the optimized image size is 3.9 MB. The total image size is reduced by 58% and 9.3% of the space credit is left. If you have more images, subscribe to one of the Imagify plans. The monthly plan starts at $5.99. Okay, let me perform another Page Speed Insight test. As you can see, the score increased to 90. Before, the mobile score was 81. Here we see three issues. Largest contentful paint element, serve images in next-gen formats, and efficiently encode images issues. After optimizing the images using the Imagify plugin, serve images in next-gen formats and efficiently encode images issues are fixed. The only issue we need to address is the largest contentful paint element issue. When we lazy load images on the website, we must exclude the critical images from the lazy load. The images in the viewport can be an LCP element. In this case, the logo and hero section image. Right click on the image and click on copy image address. Under exclude images or iframes, paste the link. Then delete everything before the image file name. As you can see here, we have to just keep the image file name. To copy this image file name, right click and click on inspect. In the hero section, the image is a background image. Here we have to look at the appropriate div, and on the right side, you will see the background image. To copy the image file path, click on the image and the image will open in the new tab. From here, select and copy the image file name. Go back to WP Rocket settings and paste the image file name. You can add one image per line. Then click on Save Changes. Let me clear and preload cache. Let me perform another page speed insights test. As you can see, the mobile score increased to 96. If we scroll down here, we do not see any major issues. Before excluding the critical images from the lazy load, the mobile score was 90 and we saw this largest contentful paint element issue that is gone now. Let me click on the desktop tab. The desktop score is 97. Let me perform another GTmetrix test. First, let's look at the before results. When we started the GTmetrix, the grade was C. Performance was 67% and LCP took 3 seconds to load. TTFB duration was 1.5 seconds and the fully loaded time was 7.1 seconds. Now, let's look at after results. The grade is A. Performance is 98% and LCP takes 939 milliseconds to load. TTFB is 580 milliseconds and the fully loaded time is 1.3 seconds. Okay, as you see here, the fully loaded page time is 1.3 seconds. Are we happy with the results? I'm not happy with these results, as I expect the website to load in less than half a second. We must use a good host and a CDN to make the website load in less than half a second. Alright, I will show you the host that I personally use to host all my websites. Open a new tab, enter wpamaze.com/rocket and hit enter. Here click on pricing, scroll down and you will see a couple of plans. You can try any of these plans for just $1 for the first month. A single site plan will cost $30 per month. 3 site plan will cost $60 per month. 10 site plan will cost $100 per month. For this video purpose, I will choose a single site plan which will cost $30 per month. And if you pay 1 year in advance, then it will be $25 per month. I have a detailed rocket.net tutorial on my channel and I will leave a link in the video description. Here, I will select a single site plan, enter your email address and password, or you can log in using your Google account. Once the rocket.net account is created, you can ask the support to migrate your website for free. I already have a rocket.net account and I migrated the site without wasting any time. Let's look at the results. The mobile score is 100. The desktop score is 100. Now let me show you the GTmetrix results. The grade is A. Performance is 100%. LCP loaded in 230 milliseconds. TTFB duration is 41 milliseconds. Fully loaded time is 242 milliseconds. Wait a moment, my friends. I want to discuss an important point. There are plenty of reasons for choosing rocket.net, and I would like to highlight one of the most important performance related features. As this video is all about website performance, most of the time you choose a host from your region and the website will load fast for you. But what if a visitor is far away from the server location? The website will load slower for them, and I will prove it to you with proof. In the Rocket.net tutorial, I compared 3 different hosting service providers, and here are the results. It was the same website with the same settings. The site hosted on HostGator took 966 milliseconds to load. The site hosted on Cloudways took 1.1 seconds to load. The site hosted on Rocket.net took 209 milliseconds to load. Now let's look at the PageSpeed Insights results. As you can see, Rocket.net is the only host that scored a perfect 100 on mobile and desktop. Now let's look at the TTFB results. HostGator average global TTFB is 516 milliseconds. Cloudways average global TTFB is 408 milliseconds. Rocket.net average global TTFB is 137 milliseconds. Now let's look at the server stress test results. HostGator average response time was 3462 milliseconds. Cloudways average response time was 438 milliseconds. Rocket.net average response time was 18 milliseconds. Now let's look at the success counts. HostGator success counts were 2591. Cloudways success counts were 34,053. Rocket.net success counts were 7,74,716. Now let's look at the timeouts. HostGator had the highest amount of timeouts, which is 1,174. Cloudways and Rocket.net had 0 timeouts. As you can see in every test, Rocket.net performance is outstanding.